10 more declined logos for us to review today. Andre Leroux here, and this is video 21 in the series. First logo today is a promising lion inside a floral pattern. A newer version of this logo has been approved on LogoGround, but I wanted to talk about this earlier version because I think we can learn from it. The first thing is the blocky eyes and nose. Nothing wrong with blocky, but if all the other lines are smooth and curvy, then these hard, straight lines look out of place. Much better in the new version. That's a massive improvement. The other issue is alignment. In an intricate design like this with many elements, you have to take the time to line stuff up like this. Here you could simply cut the circle so that it lines up neatly with this line. And up here too, this issue is still present in the approved logo. We felt it was minor enough. We don't want to decline a logo over something that might just be hair-splitting. Next, an excellent logo. This is great. A child's face on a flag. Very well done. The only issue is that I don't think it works at smaller sizes. On a website or on a phone app, the logo might have to work at that size or at that size. But now the face isn't visible anymore and you just have a broken flag. There isn't an easy solution for this, I'm afraid. I think adding the rest of the head could help, but then that messes up the flag. You could also redo the logo with broader lines, or maybe no lines, a different type of flag, or shading. Somehow you have to get it so that we can still see the face at smaller sizes. Next, well, from a very good design to a very bad one. It's not pretty, but there is a bigger problem. To illustrate my point, right now I'm trying to learn about 3D design and animation. I want to make cool things like the LogoGround video intro. It's a big learning curve for me. I've been at it for months and I know that I still have a lot to learn. There's so much information, but I am learning, and that's the point. If you want to do something, study it. If you don't even know what vector format is, then you know almost nothing about logo design. That's fine. We all have to start from somewhere, but don't waste your time trying to sell something that's not sellable. I don't know anything about preparing food. That's why I'm not working as a chef. If you want to be a logo designer, great. Get serious about logos. Study hard, then maybe you have a chance. If you don't study, then you are just throwing pixels at people, and no one will ever pay you for that. Next up, an eagle shield logo. It's promising, but several things to work on. I really like your color palette, very nice, but the red and the blue are very close in terms of tonal values. So I would not put them side by side like this. I would separate them with the pale yellow color. These buildings of yours are uninspiring. It's good that you want to keep it simple, but this is a little boring. There's nothing here that is new or interesting or fun to look at. I would drop the buildings, then make a more unique eagle, maybe one that looks like it was made to fit inside that shield. Then the typography. Notice that the C is closer to the star than to the O, closer to the shield too. It might be just me, but that really bugs me. These 7 guys are friends. They go together. They're a unit, so they have to visually be a unit also. That just looks better, and it is easier to read. Next, we have a cyborg cat. Not a bad design, but some room for improvement. You start up here with half cat and half robot, and then you don't do that for the nose and mouth, or for the neck or collar. That's too random. It can look like you didn't know how to do a robot nose and just gave up. Or maybe you forgot to finish it. I know that's not what happened here, but people will think that. While we're talking about the nose, this is unnecessary detail. Too small to make a difference, so you might as well not have it. And these sickle moons are unconvincing. And the ears are not very cat-like. They are well drawn. I just think you should go back to a reference image and make sure that they are cat ears. Next, letter S snake logo. Good idea, not a good snake. The head is very good, that's a snake, but this isn't. I know it's supposed to be like the hood of a Cobra, but in this silhouette it doesn't work. I think the problem is this very sharp bend here. I'm sure if you bend a snake like that, you're going to break it. And then the shadows. You don't really need them, but they help with making the S clearer, so they contribute to the logo. But wow, you score 2 out of 10 for effort there. That's extremely sloppy. Take some time, make it perfect. You have to be proud of every inch of every logo you make. Next, a dog logo. I am baffled by the anatomy here. I might be missing something. Perhaps there is some logic that I'm not seeing. Perhaps you are trying to combine the dog with something else. What I am seeing is a front paw connecting not to the shoulder but to the hip, and then the back leg connects to the same pivot point. It's unique, I'll give you that. The tail also isn't great. A tail is an extension of the backbone, so it starts above the animal's backside. In your design, it looks like the tail is under the dog, coming from his tummy instead of from his back. And lastly, the eye. Thick lines and rounded corners everywhere, and then you switch to a different style for the eye. Keep it consistent. Next, a good idea, a rose and an infinity symbol. Again, not very tidy. You cannot have problems like this in your work. That's not good enough. The circles are unsuccessful. You want the spacing to be consistent, or better yet, you want the gaps to go from big to small. Well, actually, you want the circles themselves to also go from big to small, if we are nitpicking. And then I think you should deform these circles to really fit the rose. The rose isn't flat, but the circles are. Why not bend the circles to match the curve of the rose? Next, letter S with 2 dragons. Not bad, a tiny bump on the nose here. That's not necessary. It is small in comparison to the other details in the design, so it feels lost. If there are many small details all over, then this bump would be at home in this design. The letter S shape isn't great. I agree that it should go from thicker, close to the dragons, to thinner on the inside, like you have it, that's fine. But it's not a very smooth or elegant shape. That's going to need some attention. The main problem with this logo, though, I think, is the scales. One of my many jobs in the past was working as an engraver, making stuff like this, decorative leaves all over the place. One of the tricks of the trade is to focus on consistency of the negative spaces. If you want a harmonious engraving, get those negative spaces consistent. It makes a huge difference. If we apply that principle here, then you can see the problem. The scales themselves are okay, but the white gaps are inconsistent, which makes it less attractive. This is becoming a long video. Let's move on to the last logo for today, a palm tree sunset logo. Somewhat generic, but the AT&T lines are so very well done that I think this logo works because of those lines. They give it a unique character. 2 small issues, and they are very small. This baby triangle here is unfortunate. If you have ever worked with vinyl or silkscreen printing, you'll know that small bits like this can be a real headache. I would simply delete that triangle, or if you want to keep it, move the lines down a bit so that you have a bigger triangle. The other issue is here. The alignment is correct, but if we view it at normal size, then it looks misaligned. The blue is much darker than the yellow, so at normal size we see the blue and we do not see the yellow. Easy to fix, like this or like this. By the way, Like the first logo, this one has been fixed in the meantime. I noticed the new version on the site as I was making this video. Both issues fixed. Perfect. Well done. And that is it for this video. More declined logos next time. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for watching.